Huh? Well, I do it like, I'm going to explain it as we go, so I'm not just going to like fill it in. Well, the degrees I am just going to fill in because we should know the degrees by this like point. Basically, it's just counting. Okay, so I'm going to do the degrees like right here in the inside edge of the circle. Okay, and then I'll do the radians on the outside, and then each line will have x, y coordinates with it, and then on the very outside we'll have tangent values. Okay? Pretty much. So all the degrees are going to be the same color is what I'm going to do. So I'm doing red. I don't care what color you use, but that's what I'm going with. Okay? So, okay, on the x-axis here, okay, it starts at 0 degrees. Okay, and then the lines that are given, okay, the known values on the unit circle are 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees. Okay, and I'm going to try to write everything like facing up, so I'm not going to like rotate the circle around and write it upside down, because I like it to all be like visible with what it is. Okay, and then straight up and down is 90 degrees. Okay, and then keep going. Okay, it's another 30 degrees around, so it's 120 degrees. And then 135 degrees, 150 degrees, and then back across where we're flat again, we're at 180 degrees. And then moving our way down to the next quadrant, we're at 210 degrees, 225 degrees, and then 240 degrees. Okay, and then down here, straight down at the bottom, this is 270 degrees. Okay, then the next one, 300 degrees, 315 degrees, 330 degrees, and then all the way back around on the bottom side of this line is 360 degrees. Okay, so just to give a quick explanation of degrees, okay, always starts at 0. Okay, and then this is an increment of 30, so everything from an axis to the first line is 30 degrees, or from the last line to the other axis is 30 degrees. Okay, and then the one that splits the middle here is 15 degrees between these two, so it's 45. So if you forget how to count, hopefully you at least remember this one, and then it just follows the same pattern all the way around. Okay, so pretty much as long as you know how to count it, okay, you don't have to memorize anything but quadrant 1, and then everything else follows with it. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and do all the radians in the same color, okay, because if I didn't, it would take like 3 more colors than you already have. But if you want to group them, I'm going to put them on there, grouped how we counted them the day that I was teaching you how to count. Okay? That's how I'm going to go through and put them on there. So if you want to write them that way or whatever, you can. But I think it's just easier to do them all like one color. And then we color code everything else that goes out here with them. So I'm going to use like a teal color, turquoise color for those. Okay, so I'm going to do those still inside the circle, but farther out. So we start at 0. Okay, this first one is pi over 6. Then I'm just going to go ahead and go around. I think it'll be easier. So then pi over 4. And then pi over 3. And then straight up and down is pi over 2. And then coming on over, we have 2 pi over 3. You have 3 pi over 4. And then 5 pi over 6. And then down here is just pi. Okay, so just really quick, just as kind of a review, okay, so every 30 degrees we hit a value that's pi over 6, okay, but then on the 60 degrees they reduce down to be pi over 3s. Okay, so this is technically 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, which gives us the pi over 3, okay, and then this gives us 3, right here, this gives us 3 pi over 6, which gets us down to pi over 2, then 4 pi over 6, which gets us down to 2 pi over 3, and then 5 pi over 6, and then this would be like 6 pi over 6 or just pi. Okay, the 45s, so the middle lines all the way around, okay, obviously it works the same way for the up and down ones too. Okay, but we start with 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4 is pi over 2, 3 pi over 4, and then 4 pi over 4, which reduces down to just pi. Okay, so that's just the top part. But it follows the same pattern all the way around. I'm not going to count out all the bottom ones. I'm just going to tell you what they are. Okay, but that's how it follows around. So then this one, 7 pi over 6, then 5 pi over 4, 4 pi over 3, and then all the way down at the bottom is 3 pi over 2, then keep following around, we're at 5 pi over 3, 7 pi over 4, and 11 pi over 6. And then all the way back around the bottom side of the line where we started is 2 pi. Yeah. Okay, so then I'm going to use black to draw in the axis, okay, the x and y axis, and then to put those values on here. So just basically extend the axis out. Okay, so you have the x-axis and the y-axis. Yeah, I'm doing it with black. I'm going to use the black to write in the coordinates out here for the, yeah. And then the y-axis, okay, and notice this is positive x, positive y, okay, and then on the other side, negative x, and at the bottom, negative y, okay, and the only reason you're probably like, hello, we've seen this since pre-algebra, like, I know where the x and y is, okay, I know where it's positive, I know where it's negative, but that's just going to help to, like, that's not something I look for when you do your unit circle. Like, when you get the quiz on it, if you don't write the x and y, like, that's not something I'm taking off for. Okay, that's just for you to visualize while you're studying to help you understand when I teach you with your hand how it works. That's just to help you visualize that happening. Okay. Alright, so out here, okay, I'm going to put in the coordinates out here as ordered pairs. Okay, so obviously ordered pairs go x, y. So I'm going to give you the x value and then the y value. Okay, so still in black because I'm just going to do the ones that are on the axis here. Okay, the x value is 1, y value is 0. Okay, at the top, this is same color. Okay, up here, x is 0, y is 1. Okay, so remember, unit circle has a radius of 1, so that's why, without it actually being graphed, we can just say that it's at 1. Okay, so that's where we're getting these from, just so you understand. Okay, over here we have x is -1, y is 0. And then down at the bottom, I've got x is 0, y is -1. Yeah, I mean the ones that I have is like in-class copies and stuff like that. They're like laminated from last year. Like I made them at the end of last school year. Because, yeah, anyways, it just made it easier. But, because like when you get to chapter 14, I'll give you a unit circle that's already filled out. So like I'll give you this one. We were done by then, because I did it. We literally finished, well, we were finishing up the last section of chapter 14 when we went virtual. Yeah, just chapter 13 and 14, but they're really long chapters. So it takes about 8-9 weeks to get through them. Alright, so now change colors again. Let's see. I'm going to do the pi over 4 ones first all the way around. So, what color do I want? Green? Okay, green. Sounds good. Also, I might have miscounted. We might only need 6 colors, but anyways. Okay. Alright, so with the pi over 4s, these are the easiest ones, okay? So that's the reason for doing them first. Okay? Both the x value and the y value are the square root of 2 over 2. Okay, so over here, okay, this is going to be the key thing. This is why I wrote the positives and the negatives on here. Okay, x and y are both positive in this quadrant. So that means that both values are going to be positive. So it's going to be the square root of 2 over 2, comma, square root of 2 over 2. Okay, now I've already told you that the numbers are the same all the way around for all the pi over 4s. The difference is the signs change as we go. So in this quadrant, which value is negative? Okay, and y is still positive. So we have negative square root of 2 over 2, comma, square root of 2 over 2. Okay, so x is negative, but y is positive. Might have to tilt a little bit so that I can write them and have room. Okay, so down here, what about the x and y values for this one? Both are going to be negative, so it's going to be negative root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2. Okay, and then how about over here at 7 pi over 4? Okay, x is positive, y is negative. So this is going to be root 2 over 2, comma, negative root 2 over 2. Okay, so that color's done. Let's see. I'm going to do orange, and I'm going to do the pi over 6s. Okay? Now with these ones, again, the reason I say they're really easy is the numbers stay the same all the way around. But again, it's the signs that basically flip with them. Okay, so for this one, both are going to be positive. So we have the square root of 3 over 2, comma, 1/2. Okay, and I'll point out something with the pi over 6s and the pi over 3s in a minute, but we're going to just do the ones that actually specifically have a 6 on the bottom right now, okay? Because yes, when we count it, we say that this is 2 pi over 6, Okay, but I want the ones that actually already have a 6 on the bottom. Okay, not the 3 that's been like reduced down. Okay, so I'm going to jump over then to the 5 pi over 6 on this side. So it's the same numbers, but my x is now negative, y is still positive. So I'm going to have negative root 3 over 2, comma, 1/2. I'm going to rotate it back, just trying to write it, so try to keep it straight. Okay, now I'm going to come down to 7 pi over 6. Okay, now both values are negative, so it's going to be negative root 3 over 2 and negative 1/2. Okay, and then coming around to 11 pi over 6, we have this positive square root of 3 over 2 and negative 1/2. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go with pink. Well, I will give you more unit circles to practice with so that you can, like, use them to practice. That's why I said I need to make so many copies. Okay? Some of it will literally be going through and just writing another one that you just know, and then some of it is going to be take a blank one and literally just start filling it in. Okay? Fill it in pencil, and then go back in and another color mark the stuff that you missed, and every time do that, and that'll help you to see kind of, okay, I've gotten this right the whole time, but I keep missing this part, and then you'll kind of know what more to focus on as you go. Okay? That's just the best way to do it, is just to memorize it like piece by piece. Like start out with the degrees and radians, and then slowly work your way out. Once I teach you the method, like with your hand, because like I said, your hand, it's really hard to tell right now because my hand is too big for the paper, but I'll do it up on the board. When I put my hand up there, it'll make sense how I flip my hand and how it follows. Yes, if you have small hands, it might not matter, but okay. I have very large hands, so. Alright, so we're going to do the pi over 3's now, okay? So what you're going to notice about the pi over 3 and the pi over 6 is simply that the x and y coordinates flip. Okay? So it's going to be 1/2 and then root 3 over 2. X and y just changes. Okay? So 1/2 root 3 over 2. Okay, both are positive. At 2 pi over 3, x becomes negative, so I'm going to have negative 1/2 and positive root 3 over 2. Okay, so then all the way down to 4 pi over 3 at the bottom. Okay, both values are negative. So I've got negative 1/2 and negative root 3 over 2. Yeah, and pretty much once you, I'll write in probably in pencil or maybe with our 7th color since I ended up actually only needing 6. I'll write in, the x's are positive, y positive, stuff like that, where that all happens, just so we make sure you keep up with it. Technically, you do that with the radians, too. It just takes a little bit more to understand the counting. Okay, the last one at 5 pi over 3 is 1/2 and negative root 3 over 2. No, I haven't. I can. I mean, I'm gonna make a whole bunch of copies today and give them out on Monday. Yeah, I'm leaving at like 11:15. I was like, I'm gonna try to be here for this class because they have a quiz on Tuesday and. I do. This is my favorite thing to teach too, so like I'd be pretty bummed to not be here for this class. Alright, so that's all of that filled in, okay, but I'm not quite done yet. Huh? Yep, gotta put tangent values on here. Yes, I'm gonna do that in purple. I don't care. Okay, so the tangent values, I'm just going to write them on there, and then I'll show you how to find them just on the side so that if you don't want to memorize them, I can just show you how to find them. Okay, but again, if you just memorize quadrant 1, the rest of them just follow. Okay, so this one out here is root 3 over 3. The ones on the axis won't have one because they're undefined, or 0. I'll do the ones that are 0, but the ones that are undefined I won't do. But we'll come back and do those at the end once I explain how to get them. Okay, the next one is 1. When you see y on, it'll make sense. The next one is the square root of 3. Okay, so skip the axis. We'll come back to the axis ones in a minute. Okay, out here, so at 2 pi over 3, I'm going to rotate a little bit. It is minus the square root of 3. Okay, this next one is negative 1. This one is negative root 3 over 3. Okay, down here. Okay, again, skip the axis. We'll come back to it. Root 3 over 3. Yes. Okay, 1. And then the square root of 3. I mean, all the pink ones are going to be some form of square root of 3. They're either going to be a positive square root of 3 or negative square root of 3. Now that she just thoroughly confused the whole class. Okay, this one is negative square root of 3. Negative 1, and then negative root 3 over 3. Okay, I'm going to zoom out one now just to make sure we can see the whole thing.
Okay, so I'm confused, everyone. So you know when you multiply a negative and a positive, it's negative? Yeah. It's that same sort of concept. You see how, like, they are both negative down there, so they're positive? They're both positive up there, but period.
Okay, I'm going to go to another piece of paper to explain how to find the tangents really quick, and then we'll do the ones on the axis. Okay, so Yeah, I don't care. Well, you don't necessarily have to do this. I'm just going to show you how it works. Okay, so when we're finding tangent, okay, what values are we looking at? Like sine is like y over r, okay, opposite over adjacent, okay, so it's going to be y over x. Okay, so tangent is y over x. Okay, so for like tangent of pi over 6, okay, that would be meaning with this 1/2 divided by the square root of 3 over 2. Okay, now when you divide a fraction by another fraction, Garrett, can you go sit or something? Thank you. When you divide a fraction by another fraction, okay, you multiply by the reciprocal, so that means you have 1/2 times 2 over the square root of 3. The 2's cancel, leaving you with 1 over the square root of 3. Okay, but obviously we can't leave a radical on the bottom, so in this case that gives us root 3 over 3. Okay, so that's how we got that one. Okay, so I'm going to show how to get each of these three really quick, and then we'll look at the ones on the axis. Okay. Okay, so then the tangent of pi over 4, okay, that means that this is the square root of 2 over 2 divided by the square root of 2 over 2. Okay, so we're dividing by fraction, so we multiply by the reciprocal. So we have the square root of 2 over 2 times 2 over the square root of 2. So then everything cancels, leaving me with 1. Okay, and then the tangent of pi over 3 is root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. Okay, so then this is root 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. 2's cancel, leaving me with root 3. Okay, so if you forget the tangents, or you're like, I really just don't want to memorize them, okay, all you have to do is do y divided by x, and then you can get them, okay? So that being said, let's do the ones on the axis. Let's start with this one, okay, and then we'll write them in. It wasn't going to be, but it took a little longer than I thought, so just because I forget how long it takes to go through it and like truly explain it. So the tangent of 0, what? Yes, because we have quiz on Tuesday. But the rest of 13.3 we will finish up after Tuesday, like when we're done with the quiz on Tuesday.
Okay, so like the homework, like the 3 problems you gave us, there's something on this, but that's all we're gonna have.
Yeah.
We're gonna have more.
Yeah.
Okay.
There will be more added on at some point, but that will be like its own like assignment after the quiz. Okay. Tangent of, we'll be done in like a couple minutes, so you should have time to like work on the problems. So we're almost done. I'm just going to fill in the unit circle and be done. Okay, tangent of 0, okay, would be y over x, 0 over 1, which is equal to what? Okay, 0. So on the x-axis, these tangent values are both 0. Okay. The other ones, yes, will be undefined. So the tangent of pi over 2 would be 1 over 0, which is undefined.
I like looked up. That's the part on my notebook that I looked up. It's just like pi over 2. Why is it pi over 2? Never mind. Yeah. The problem is that I get confused. I never know how to unconfuse myself. Wait, pi over 2? 0, pi over 2?
The tangent of pi over 2 is undefined. Okay? So listen just for a minute, okay? I don't technically have you write the tangent of the axis on the quiz normally, okay, just because of them being 0 and undefined. I just don't see a point in it, so I just do this root 3 over 3, 1, and square root of 3. Okay? It's the only ones I actually have you write in terms of tangent. Okay? On either Tuesday after the quiz when we're going over the last couple problems from 13.3 or Wednesday. That way everybody's kind of back and has had the opportunity to fill it in, and then I can explain it because it'll be like, I can't really put my hand on here and explain it. It'll be easier to, like, put up on the board and do a rundown of that with everybody here, and then I can explain it. But basically, just in short, really quick, if you just put your hand on here, and then you learn the values for each of your fingers, then when you flip your hand backwards, those values are the same, it's just their sign that changes. Okay? But the only other thing that I was going to write up here is just, again, this is not something that you would have to write on the quiz, but X is positive and Y is positive up here. Okay, over on this side, X is negative and Y is positive. Okay, down here at the bottom, both are negative, so X is negative, Y is negative, and then over here, X is positive, Y is negative. Okay, and then just because I only did the tangents that were these positive ones up here, okay, when the signs are the same, so meaning that X and Y are both positive or X and Y are both negative, tangents are positive. Okay, when the signs are opposite for X and Y, okay, like they are here, where one's positive and one's negative, the tangent values are negative, okay, because of the Y over X. Okay, so we'll go ahead and stop here for today. So you still have about like 12 minutes or something if you didn't work on the problems the other day and you want to work on them, and then I'll review this after the quiz. You won't actually need the unit circle for the quiz on Tuesday.